Today, you are going to learn 11 of the best side hustle ideas for 2020 that you can start today with little or no startup costs. So if you don't want to miss out on earning some more money on the side, then keep watching. What is up? My name is Chris. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here, it is my sole purpose to help you see that you don't need a job, you need an income. So if you want help building that income, join the family now by subscribing below. Also, before we get started, for my #1 way to make money, be sure to check the link down in the description, benjisdad.com. I have a free video series showing you step by step how I earn an income. Now, our first job is a meal plan helper. Now, with the rise of so many diets like gluten-free and grain-free and paleo diets, keto diets, or if you're just trying to eat healthier and not have to go to McDonald's every day, many people like myself do not know where to begin. And a meal plan helper can help you to plan your meals for each day. There are websites like eMeals and No More To Go and Deliciously Organic that charge anywhere from $5 to $10 per month just to tell you what to eat. Once you have a client, all you have to do is get their budget, plan out their meals, tell them exactly what groceries to buy and how to put the food together for the day. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. How in the world are you going to live on $5 to $10 a month? Well, that's not the idea. The idea is to specialize in one type of diet. When you're first starting off, create a weekly and monthly meal plan and then sell access to that plan by setting up a website or simply sending them an email. $5 to $10 may not seem like much, but once you get 10 to 20 or even 100 clients, you're looking at a few $100s per month in passive recurring income. To start, just begin posting healthy food ideas on your social media like Facebook and Instagram. And since everyone pretty much likes to eat, most people are going to like those posts and probably ask you, how did you put those things together? Get them onto your email list and then start to market to them. The next best side hustle is starting a blog. Now, there is nothing more satisfying than taking something that you really enjoy or are interested in and then finding a way to make some money from it. So for example, I love coffee, like all types of coffee. Everything from the beans to the roasting to grinding them up and then tasting that sweet nectar from my little Sediti French press. I told you I like coffee. Anyway, as a result of my coffee addiction, I have tons of useless knowledge in my head about coffee and the kind of knowledge that only coffee enthusiasts would really be interested in. So instead of being just proud of the fact that I know so much useless information about coffee or really any other subject, I can now take that passion and create a blog. Find other people that are just as passionate as I am about coffee and just geek out about the subject. Once you have the blog built and consistently getting traffic from Google, you can begin to monetize your blog with advertisements and affiliate income. And within about a year or so, you could probably have it up to a few $100s a month. And then after about 2 years, it'll probably be a few $1,000s a month. Now, there is a specific way that you need to create your blog, meaning that you can minimize the amount of time it takes you to build that blog, but then maximize the amount of money that you're going to get from that blog. And to learn how to do this, be sure to go check out benjisdad.com. That's benjisdad.com. There I have a free video series where I show you exactly how I am able to build blogs from scratch, basically on whatever subject that I want and earn money from it. That's benjisdad.com. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description. The next side hustle is voice acting. So you may know those voices that you hear on the radio or on TV or online trying to sell you things. Those are done by professional voice actors. Voiceovers are also used for narrating audiobooks, coming up with explainer videos, training videos, video games, animations, live announcing. Okay, I think you get the point. But the cool thing about voice acting is that you don't even need to be very good at it. You do need to make sure that your audio is on point, however. But with the rise of so many podcasts and advertisements, even commercials on your Pandora, there are times where your type of voice and your type of delivery that you have will be wanted by someone who needs it. Now, the key with voice acting, or really with anything, is that you just have to begin, throw something out there, and then just adjust from there. Go to places like acx.com or fiverr.com or even upwork.com. Post a profile and start getting some work. If you are able to nail the right gig, you will really get your name out there and start to get booked more consistently. I know one voice actor in particular that makes anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 per job. The next side hustle is becoming a Starbucks barista. So I have a confession to make. One place that I've always wanted to work, and I don't even really know why, is Starbucks. I give them enough money anyway, so I might as well just be working there. So with so many of these big name stores and restaurants that are closing down because everyone is buying stuff online nowadays, it's really interesting to see that Starbucks just continues to rise. And the main reason is because they produce a product that may not be the best coffee on the market, but they do a good job at selling the experience. So you have to admit there is some type of status by walking around with a Starbucks cup. Anyways, working at a Starbucks has plenty of benefits, including flexible hours, health benefits, even for part-time, 401k matching, and even, one of my favorites, stock options. And let's not forget the #1 benefit for working at Starbucks: free coffee and free food. A close friend of mine who used to work at a Starbucks would normally close the store each night, and they were able to go home with free food that they would have normally thrown into the trash. And the amount of savings that you get in terms of groceries alone is just mind-boggling. Now, granted, it may not be something that you want to do long-term, because on this channel, we definitely promote entrepreneurship and just being your own boss. But it is a quick way to save on other expenses and to save up some money and use it to do something that is more worthwhile, like starting a business. The next side hustle is luxury watch sales. Now, many people do not know this, but watches, especially luxury watches, tend to hold their value very, very well. And typically, the more rare a watch is, and as time passes, the value of that watch will increase. Just like with real estate, the price of real estate is not so much as important as the value that the item holds, especially when you need to resell it. Now, back in 2008, during the housing crisis, there was like a fire sale on luxury goods, and I was able to capitalize on them by buying a Rolex for about $3,000. About 3 weeks later, I was able to turn around and sell that same Rolex for $4,200. So I made $1,200 in the span of a few weeks just by investing money in an asset and using simple supply and demand to get myself a 40% return on my money in less than a month. To get started with selling luxury watches, I totally recommend building money on the side and wait for that perfect investment to come along. Run the numbers and make the deal. After you have some seed money, start going to jewelers around your area and network. Make some friends out there with people who can alert you when they have good deals pop up on their radar. When they do pop up, do the research, maybe even do a little bit of haggling and see if you can get these watches as cheap as you possibly can. Now, in terms of selling the watches, there are plenty of places that you can go to unload your inventory. Some places include eBay or even Craigslist. I would even recommend asking around with friends that you have now and see who has a soft spot for luxury watches. The next side hustle is to become an IT or digital freelancer. So I remember when growing up, I was always the go-to guy when it comes to fixing family and friends' computers. In fact, while growing up, I was so good at it that I decided to make it my profession and I went into IT full-time. But even before then, I was really good at just doing the normal task on the computer. But even though I was a nerd when it came to computers, that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone else are nerds when it came to computers. So some of the things that I knew how to do, not that many other people knew how to do it right. So then as a result, I was able to just charge for my services and make a little money on the side. And no, I wasn't necessarily going around charging my grandmother to fix her computer, but I was charging people who my grandmother knew, and she would then refer me to go fix their computers. So when I was a youngster, word of mouth was the best way for my services to be promoted around the community. And even though people nowadays are becoming more and more computer savvy, most people are not, and they're willing to pay someone that is. So try to find something with computers that you happen to be good at, and it doesn't necessarily have to be installing software and hardware. It could be something like website design or graphic design. It could be any skill that you may have picked up over time or are willing to learn so that you can make yourself more marketable in the industry. The next side hustle is YouTube. Creating content for a blog is very similar to creating content for YouTube. It can be about anything that you really have an interest in, and creating content for a specific group of people is what you really want to target. And you wait for them to find you, and then your channel will grow. Now, I have had a few people complain because they always tell me, why do you always recommend YouTube? It seems to be in each one of your videos. Why does it keep popping up? But that is because it is a great place to make money. Now, there is a misconception that you need to have every video that you create go viral in order to make some money. But if you choose the right topic and you choose the right content that people actually want to watch, and share online, then you can earn a full-time income in no time. But if you want to be hard-headed and just constantly go toward the viral videos all the time, you really only need 1 or 2 viral videos to stand the test of time, and you are set for months or maybe even years. An example of this would be like Graham Stephan, who created a video about his new Tesla Model 3, and within a few months, that individual video paid for his Tesla twice. Or Mr. Beast, who creates a video and then gets 50 million views and now can afford to go out and buy an entire grocery store. And each of these happen from one video. So if you did the perfect formula that allows you to create viral video after viral video, you're looking at a significant income each month just from YouTube ad revenue. That does not include sponsorship deals, brand deals, or even affiliate income. So moving right along in our side hustle journey, our next one is called high fashion eBay reseller. Now, this one does require a little bit of hustle on your part, but hear me out. So there is this thing that's called thrifting. You may have heard of some of these stores like Goodwill or Savers or the Salvation Army. There's quite a few of them in most areas. The goal is to go out there and see what kind of items they have on sale that were just gifted to them by other people. Now, if you happen to live in an affluent area, or it may even be worth traveling to areas where people have more expendable income just to see what they have in their inventories. There has even been many times where I have been able to find brand new clothes that still had the tags on them. The trick is to sell these clothes and to find diamonds in the rough of popular designer brands. Then post them on eBay, listing each one with nice aesthetically pleasing, big, clear pictures and accurate measurements, which can then help buyers know exactly what they are going to get when they buy from you. It is hard to predict what kind of money you would end up making from this because a lot of it depends on you and what you find at these stores and how much of a markup you'll be able to sell them for on eBay. But my family has instances where we have found designer items for less than $5 and then was able to turn around and sell them on eBay for over $50. Now, granted, this type of side hustle probably won't make you rich, but it will give you some nice extra money on the side. So our next side hustle is to clean houses. Now, when I say cleaning houses, I don't necessarily mean becoming someone's maid. This is more geared toward homeowners and investors who buy houses to fix them up and rent. But then when they buy them, they're full of junk from the previous owners. Now, probably more than most people, real estate investors know the value of time. And the longer it takes them to fix up a property and get a tenant in it, or if they're just going to resell it, it ends up costing them more and more the longer they end up holding that property. So in many instances, they will pay someone to move in and completely clear the house. These transactions tend to be smooth and very quick. So as long as you are available to do the work, you can make some income. But there are other opportunities than just cleaning houses. You can also clean up office buildings, and you can clean up people's homes if you like, especially when they are too busy to do it themselves. It is a very consistent way to earn income because there's always going to be people out there that need stuff cleaned when they're either too lazy or just don't have time to do it. The greatest part about cleaning houses is the fact that it has a very low startup cost and that people tend to find you, and it can take you up to $1,000 fairly quickly. So if you want to take the bull by the horns, then go out there and get some business cards, get the addresses of people around your neighborhood, and just start sending out letters telling them what you do. This is a great way to kickstart your marketing and get some leads through the door. The next side hustle that is a very, very quickly growing industry is video editing. With the rise of people creating their own YouTube channels, online video is becoming more and more important now than it really has ever in human history. And since it is not just large corporations that need video, we're talking about small YouTubers who need video editing. Especially with the world in which it is right now, it is very easy to make a video. All you really need is your smartphone. Smartphones nowadays can create content that is very comparable to $50,000 cameras. So with the influx of people who are creating this content online, there is a growing number of people who need to edit this content. Now, trust me, most conscientious creators realize that their time is better spent creating more content rather than editing that content. And in most instances, I would much rather pay someone $35, $40, maybe even $50 to take an hour or two to edit my videos rather than me taking 2 to 4 hours to do it because I don't know what I'm doing. That really is 2 to 4 hours that I could spend creating new content or doing something else that is more worthwhile, like spending time with the family. And the greatest part about editing is that really anyone can do it, and you can have multiple customers, meaning that you can work a 6 to 8 hour day and earn a few $100s per day. And to get started with video editing, you really don't need anything super fancy. You can really get started with using something as simple as iMovie for Mac, which is 100% free, or DaVinci Resolve for Windows. Ironically, watch a few YouTube YouTube videos like you're doing right now and learn how to use these programs and get out there and start getting gigs. Go to the places like Upwork and Fiverr and just get started. Another favorite side hustle of mine is freelance writing. Now, running a blog takes a lot of time and a lot of effort because you have to worry about a lot more than just writing. Especially as the blog continues to grow, you need to think about marketing and expanding and growing. There's just a ton of stuff to worry about. So one of the best parts about freelance writing is the fact that you get paid based on the work that you do directly without the headache of having to actually run the business. I have friends in the industry that literally just wake up in the morning, go to Starbucks for a couple of hours, and just do their work, and then they are done for the day. And even though it seems, at least right now, that video is becoming super popular, there is still people who want to read. So at least for the foreseeable future, there's going to be a ton of content that needs to be written. There are a lot of unanswered questions on Google, and you can answer those questions by helping blog owners create the content that they need for their blogs as quickly as possible. I have paid some freelance writers to write content as much as $60 or even $70 per article, depending on the length and the subject. Investing into article writing is just that, an investment. That type of investment is going to pay off for the blog owner later down the road. But as a freelance writer, you can get the benefit immediately and get paid for what you do. So even though one of my favorite side hustles is creating blogs, I remember when I started my very first blog, I had no idea what I was doing and really thought I was just wasting my time until one day it just clicked and I discovered the trick to earning money with my new side hustle of blogging. To learn that trick, go check out the video right there where I break down this weird process step by step and learn in 10 minutes what took me months to figure out.